This is the Cheyenne. It's a new design that I'm working on. It's a pattern that I found and very first one I've ever built. It's very slender. It's got one pocket up here for your cell phone, and then of course the main pocket. An adjustable strap with a Sam Brown button on it. And it's just a across the shoulder lady's purse. I call it the Cheyenne. Now this one, other than the two-tone, I kept it straight, nearly straight out of the pattern. But as I built it, I realized that we have room right here, a lot of room to tool and make it personal. So the next one I build will probably have that kind of, tooling and some sort of pattern. We may do a mermaid across this way, or I don't know, something. And then on the back of this particular one, see if you can see it, that's the brand from the cow before it was slaughtered. Yeah, right there. I was able to incorporate it into the bag. So the Cheyenne. Now you're going to watch me build one. Actually, you're going to watch me build this one. So we're back in the leather shop. I'm about to begin a project that is a little different than the wallets that I've been putting on YouTube. This one's going to be a purse. It's a new purse. It's a pattern that I found at Diesel Punk, Tony C's website. And I ran it by the boss. She liked it. So this is an overview, I don't know if you can see that, of the pattern. You have, wow, sounds harsh. So you have 1, 2, 3 main pieces, the gusset, the strap attachments. There's probably a couple more little pieces in there, and this is the strap that comes with the pattern. There are a couple of things that I've noticed about this pattern that I'm going to have to change right off the bat. First and foremost, this piece here is his buckle attachment, and this is the corresponding piece here. I don't think I've got a buckle that will fit that wide of a belt, so this will have to be redone and probably a little smaller. Once I go through my hardware, I'll know for sure, but I see that right off the top. The other thing, like I said, his straps, they look to be 1 inch or so wide, and I don't think I want a strap that big for a purse this small. With that said, what we do now is we simply put the pieces together. And this is where you just have to be very careful to make sure everything lines up before you tape it. And the easiest thing to do is to watch for his little scissor icon, which is right there, and then look at the 2 lines where they meet. what we're using for this project is it's a 5/6 ounce Herman Oaks veg tan, vegetable tanned leather. Now, as you can see, we've got some oxidation here where the sunlight has touched it. That will pretty much go away when we do our dyeing. And then the other thing you'll see is these marks. You got two triangles or trees, and you've got what looks like maybe an S, or I guess it could be a 2. These are brands. This is where they branded the cow when it was alive and in the field. A lot of people hate that. I love it. As a matter of fact, we're going to try to incorporate these brands into a feature on the bag itself. The S here, and then maybe leave these for a future project and cut the rest of them out of the bottom. Get the brand on this piece. So E1 sets the stage for how we're going to lay this out on our leather. So we've got it rough cut off of the side. So now I just want to get to a point where I can manage the pieces and punch all the holes. This is a little too ungainly, so I'm simply going to stay between the pieces and cut this out. So before we make these cuts, these final cuts, we'll take this piece here, which is the flap, and you'll see that there's little circles drawn on the pattern. These are where we're going to punch holes. This is stitch holes. Now these holes are 1.5 millimeter punch. And the thread that I use is a tiger thread, a 1 millimeter thread. It fills up the hole nicely, and you get a really nice finished product. pattern is now cut out from the leather. All the holes are punched. The edges are all beveled, and we're to the point now where it's time to stain the leather or dye it. I really like this little pattern so far. I like the way it's shaping up, and I think it's going to be a real nice addition to the things that I build here in the shop. Let me take just a moment to talk about burnishing the edges. If you go online and look at all the different how-to videos that are out there for leather crafting or leather work, you're going to find a lot of different ways to burnish the edge of leather. I've tried a lot of them. Some of them are good, some of them not so good. The one that I've settled on is from a guy by the name of Don Gonzalez down in Texas. The way I do it is I use a saddle soap with water. I will wet the beveled edge, take a piece of canvas and some saddle soap, and use that to create friction. The saddle soap, for lack of a better term, greases the leather, and that alone will lay it down and make it as slick as glass. But if you do run across a problem area, then I will go a next step and use a wooden burnisher. So the next step is to put the dye on, and then we'll let that dry, and we'll start doing some finishes to the leather. The burnished edges, we'll finish some of the faces, and then after that it's just a matter of stitching it together and putting the final piece together. The colors on this is going to be a neutral leather, the beige color that the leather comes in, and a dark brown. I'm going to use a red thread on it and brass hardware. I've always liked that color combination, and so this being the first one of this particular pattern, that's what we're going to go with. So, like I showed you before, that's the flap, and there's the neutral gusset. So together they're going to look something like that. So it's a really nice two-tone that I think will work really well. I've done that several times on other projects. People seem to like it, so that's what I'm going with on this particular one. If this thing turns out and we like it, if the boss likes it, that's the important part, then I'll probably make a plastic template and make more of them. one other thing.